What is IRS Form W-7, Application for IRS Individual Taxpayer Identification Number? Internal Revenue Service Form W-7 is the application for IRS Individual Taxpayer Identification Number, which allows an individual to obtain or renew an Individual Taxpayer Identification Number, which goes by the acronym ITIN, for federal tax purposes if the individual does not have or is not eligible for a Social Security number from the Social Security Administration. Individuals that are not eligible for a Social Security number and would be required to obtain an ITIN would be an individual A, required to provide a federal tax identification number or file a federal tax return, and B, categorized as one of the following: a non-resident alien who is required to file a U.S. tax return, a U.S. resident alien who is, based on days present in the United States, filing a U.S. tax return, a dependent or spouse of a U.S. citizen resident alien, a dependent or spouse of a non-resident alien visa holder, a non-resident alien claiming a tax treaty benefit, or a non-resident alien student, professor, or researcher filing a U.S. tax return or claiming an exception. The ITIN assists individuals in complying with the U.S. tax laws while providing an efficient means to process and account for tax returns and payments for those not eligible for a Social Security number. The ITIN is issued regardless of an individual's immigration status, because both resident and non-resident aliens may have a U.S. filing or reporting requirement under the Internal Revenue Code. The ITIN does not serve any purpose other than federal tax reporting. As such, an ITIN does not: A, authorize an individual to work in the United States, B, change an individual's immigration status, C, provide eligibility for Social Security benefits, or D, qualify a dependent for earned income tax credit purposes. In addition to IRS Form W-7, an individual applying for a new ITIN or renewing an existing ITIN must provide supporting documentation that meets the following requirements. 1. Documentation to establish the individual's identity and their connection to a foreign country, foreign status. Applicants claimed as dependents must also prove U.S. residency unless the applicant is from Canada or Mexico, or the applicant is a dependent of U.S. military personnel stationed overseas. B. Submit original documents or certified copies of these documents from the issuing agency that support the information provided on Form W-7. 3. The documentation the individual provides must be current, that is, not expired. Supporting documentation that can be utilized, whether for purposes of foreign status and/or identity, include a passport, the only standalone document, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS photo identification, visa issued by the U.S. Department of State, U.S. driver's license, U.S. military identification card, foreign driver's license, foreign military identification card, national identification card, U.S. state identification card, foreign voters registration card, civil birth certificate, medical records valid only for dependents under age 6, school records valid only for a dependent under age 18 if a student. Please note that you should be looking to IRS instructions for Form W-7 for the complete scope of this chart and additional components and requirements attendant therewith. It should also be advised that this video only provides a very brief overview of IRS Form W-7, application for IRS Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. with individuals being strongly advised to contact a knowledgeable professional or the Internal Revenue Service for specifics relative to their personal situation, with greater details being found at the Internal Revenue Service's website and the IRS instructions for Form W-7. Thank you.